Greetings and welcome back. Welcome back. It has been a long time since I've had my picks and predictions, but I'm back and I'm a few weeks late, but better late than never. So, welcome back, and happy weekend, happy October, and happy football season now. I'm not too elated, and as you can see by the cap that I'm wearing, that's one of the reasons. So, without further delay, let us get into week 5 of my picks and predictions. Now, for those of you that have been following me or used to follow me, I have been pretty much spot on. This season, however, I'm not too sure. I haven't been engaging in the NFL too much because Dallas has been hurting my heart, my achy breaky heart, and I don't know how much more I can hold on, but I'm going to try to hold on just a little bit longer, just a teeny tiny bit longer to see if I'm able to stomach one more season of the Cowboys. So, without further delay, let us get into the AFC East and who should be at the tippity top with 0 losses. None other than the Bills, the Buffalo Bills. Second place, we have the Patriots, which is pretty shocked. I thought they would be at at least 3 wins by now, but we shall see what happens when they play again. Buffalo, as I mentioned, they are at 4-0. There's only one other team. There's only one other team right now that matches that. Do you know who that is? I'm sure many of you do. Coming in third place is the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, which I'm a little bit surprised with them as well. They are huddling around 1-3, and who should be taking up the rear with 0 wins and 4 losses? The New York Jets. But don't worry, New York Jets. You have another down there at the bottom. So let us travel now to the AFC North, where the terrible towel waving Pittsburgh Steelers is at the top of the helm, weighing in at 3 wins and 1 loss. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. They are tied up 2-2 and bringing up the rear. Actually, I'm both tied at 1-3 now. A lot of people had high hopes for Baltimore, and we're in week 5 already, so I don't know. I'm hailing from Maryland myself, even though I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and this doesn't look good. And there are a lot of people that are Commanders and Ravens fans, so there are some issues going on early. Again, this is week 5 already, and the momentum for both of those teams do not look good. Now, let us travel to the AFC South, where Indianapolis and Jacksonville. Both are tied, 3 wins and 1 loss. We have Houston, 1 win, 3 losses, and at the bottom, joining the New York Jets with no wins on the board. None other than who? Tennessee. Mm, mm, mm. It's going to be a long season for you. And finally, as we travel to the AFC West, we have on top the LA Chargers and, surprisingly, the Kansas City Chiefs, who I thought would be number one at this juncture, but they're tied with 2 wins and 2 losses with Denver. So Kansas City and Denver both 2-2. And bringing up the rear is Las Vegas. Now, for my division, the only division that matters to me. Sorry, everyone. I know that was biased, but I can't be disingenuous. We are going to travel to the NFC South, where who is on top? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 wins, 1 loss at this time. Second place, which I'm really surprised, to be honest with you, is Atlanta, the dusty Atlanta. And North Carolina, who have been staying steadily at the bottom for the last few years, managed to pull out 1 win thus far. So they are 1-3, but who is at NFC South? The last one, the New Orleans Saints. Who that? Thug Life Manning, if you're out there listening, corner, but that's okay because you are not alone. Someone's there with you. Actually, there's a couple of teams right there with you. That looks bad already again. Oh boy. Okay, so let us look at unbelievable. The NFC West. San Fran. I'm not surprised. They are on top. 4 wins, 1 loss. See how they maintain this lead. Seattle, they look better this year. They are at 3-1. LA Rams 3-2, and surprisingly, the Cardinals managed to win 2 games because they too, in the last few seasons, worth. Now, I predicted, and I said this 2, maybe 3 years ago, when I was really into my picks, that Detroit and the New York Giants may have been the Cinderella teams because they appear to have turned themselves around. However, one of those teams, unfortunately, was a fluke. And it wasn't the Lions. The Lions are ahead, and they are standing pretty at the top of the NFC North with 3 wins, 1 loss. The Green Bay Packers, 2-1. The Minnesota Vikings, 2-2. And my, the Chicago Bears, 2-2. And dare I say that one of those wins was against my boys, the Dallas Cowboys. I thought I was going to have a conniption after that, so that's why I've been a little bit quiet. So we will finish off with my division, which is the NFC East, where who again is in the lead with 4 wins and 0 losses. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and sports fans. The Dirty Birdies of Philadelphia. But will they keep this lead throughout the season? The Commanders, and I'll get back to them in a moment. They are in second place with 2 wins and 2 losses on the board. And while it pains me to say this, I must. The Dallas Cowboys are 1, 2, and 1. Now, I'm going to go on the record and say that I believe they were cheated. They were cheated in that last game. How do you get to overtime and then it ends up to be a tie? Vegas is really doing a number. And is anyone surprised that the New York Giants remain in last place? They are, again, pulling up the rear. The Vikings. I think this will be a low scoring game, so I'll give Vikings the 14 and Browns 3. So again, Minnesota over the Browns 14-3. And that 3, I believe, will come in the third quarter for the Cleveland Browns. Okay? Again, that's my prediction. And I'll put up some pictures of some of the leaders right now. Next, we have the 1-3 Miami Dolphins and the 1-3 Carolina Panthers. This is a toss-up. It could actually go either way. This, in my opinion, will be a very low-scoring game. So I'm going to give the final 6-3. I don't think there's going to be 7 points 7 points at all for either team. So I will give, and I'm going to go out on a limb on this, Carolina 6 and the Dolphins 3. Again, Carolina 6 and the Dolphins 3. My team, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I have been rooting for you for the longest time. And many people say, well, Mace, you're in the DMV. Why isn't the Commanders your team? Again, I'll get to that because at one time, believe it or not, they used to be. But then something horrible happened and I just couldn't, my heart couldn't take it anymore. But that seems to be happening again with the Cowboys. So again, they are at 1, 2, and 1, and I'm really disappointed. So they meet the New York Jets, who again is 0-4. So I do predict and expect nothing less than a Cowboys win. Now, I am not going to fool myself and say this is going to be a blowout, even though, for all intents and purposes, it should be. But I'm going to play it safe and give this a 21-0 final. 21-0 final. And there's a picture of, I don't even want to talk about them right now. So we have the Raiders, who are 1-3, who will be facing the Indianapolis Colts, who are 3-1. I do believe that the Colts will pull out a win. I would be very, very surprised if they did not. But then again, nothing is really too surprising anymore. Again, the Colts should be able to pull out a win. So my prediction for this game is 27 to 14. I think it's going to be a mid-range point. Yeah. So again, Colts, unless something happens, should win easily. Next, we have the 0-4 Tennessee Titans against the 2-2 Arizona Cardinals. Again, this could go really any way because Tennessee has yet to put a win up in the board. Usually, this is the week where miracles happen. So I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that Tennessee Titans will upset the Arizona Cardinals. The final score 7-3. Again, an upset with the Tennessee Titans over the Arizona Cardinals 7-3. You can go back and check my picks. Now, Detroit Lions, as I mentioned, was the Cinderella team. They came back about a couple of years ago. Again, if you check my video bucket, I mentioned that many times that I think they found their niche and they have gelled and they have been playing as a cohesive unit. And again, they have been steady and consistent. They faced the 2-2 Cincinnati Bengals. So I will give Detroit a win, 27 to, I'm going to make it close, 27-20. So I predict the Detroit Lions 27 and the Bengals 20. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars 3-1 and 2-2. Again, I'm really surprised. Kansas City Chiefs, who will meet. And I think this will probably be a low scoring game. So I will give Jacksonville 10 and Kansas City 3. Again, Jacksonville 10, Kansas City 3. Now, San Fran has already played, and they just skirted by 3 points in overtime. That ended in 26-23 over the Los Angeles Rams. Again, San Fran in overtime, 26-23. Very interesting. Next, the 1-3 Houston Texans, the 1-3 Ravens. Again, this is a toss up, but I'm going to put my faith in the Ravens and predict that they will win 14-7. Again, Baltimore Ravens 14, the Houston Texans 7. Next, and I really want them to lose, but I don't see it happening. The Dirty Birdies of Philadelphia, who are 4-0, as I mentioned earlier, will face the Denver Broncos, who are 2-2. I actually see this as being a blowout with the Eagles scoring 40 and Denver 10. Again, the Eagles 40, Denver Broncos 10. That is my prediction, and I'm keeping it. And again, these are just photos of the leaders right now in these divisions. Next, we have the lowly New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. New York Giants 1-3. The Saints ain't won a game yet. However, I'm going to go out on a limb again and give the Saints. I'm going to give the Saints a surprise victory over the New York Giants. Final score 24. It's an odd number, I know, but 24-3. New Orleans Saints 24 and the Giants 3. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will meet Seattle Seahawks. They both are at 3-1, 3 wins, 1 loss apiece. This is going to be an interesting game. It could go either way, but I'm going to go out on a limb and give Tampa Bay the win. 17, Seattle 16, and the win will come in overtime. So Tampa Bay 17, Seattle 16, with the win in overtime. Now, the 2-2 Washington Commanders will meet the 3-1 LA Chargers. Now, let me just speak on the Commanders for a little bit because I am in the DMV. And at one time, as I mentioned, I was a huge, or as President Trump would say, a huge Silent H fan of the Commanders, who used to be known as the Redskins, and they changed their name to the Washington Football Team, and now they've settled with the Commanders. I'm not really fond of that name, but anywho, back in 2012, for those of you that have followed this team, there was a quarterback by the name of Robert Griffin III, or RG3, or many people would call Black Jesus, who ascended on the cursed Washington Redskins. He was the best thing since sliced bread. He was on Subway commercials. He was actually in Dunkin' Donuts posters, and just he was the savior of the Washington's football team. However, as this has been a pattern with Washington, he suffered an injury and was out for a bit, returned. But after that injury, in my opinion, I think his confidence mentally, his psyche was shot and he was never the same. And then the infamous quarterback controversy with Kirk Cousins. And then all of the talk and the scandals. And I just think that there were some serious problems between RG3 and the coach at the time, Jay Gruden, who I didn't care for then and I don't like him now. I just thought that was a horrible, horrible mix. But again, Commanders or the Washington football team, or the name most people know them by as the Washington Redskins, they have been known to ruin many careers. I mean, they've had quarterbacks come and go into the revolving door. The, off the top of my head, who can I think of? Gus Frerotte. There was Heath Schuler. Like I said, RG3. I can't even think of some of the other ones that have come and gone, but there are quite a few. So they have this new youngster at the helm now, Jay Daniels. I believe that's his last name. I honestly hope that the O line and D line protects this young quarterback, because if they do not, we may be looking at another bad situation. As I mentioned, the Redskins slash Commanders slash no Redskins slash Washington football team slash Commanders. They have a reputation of ruining careers. Back in the day when I was strong and heavy with the Commanders, again, they used to be called the Redskins. They had so much camaraderie and many Hall of Famers, and just names that those of you who are true fans will never forget. We had Art Monk, we had Darrell Green, we had Dexter Manley, we had the Fun Bunch, we had an awesome, awesome special teams. B. Mitch, who's actually a commentator now. Who could forget Rick Doc Walker? Number 44, Riggo, John Riggins. I mean, the names go on and on and on. Doug Williams, who actually brought the Redskins the Super Bowl. Those of you familiar with the history, it got quite ugly. So I think part of the ugliness, the cancer that was in the league as far as the Commanders are concerned, is now gone, and that is or was Dan Snyder. So maybe again, it's still early, but there's work that needs to be done. And with the Eagles being consistent with their winning in these last few seasons, I'm not really sure um, if the Commanders will ever get back to how they were in the 80s. I mean, that time was magic for Washington, D.C. It was true magic. So uh, I don't like the Commanders at all. I just don't. Again, They face the 3-1 LA Chargers, and I'm going to give the win to the LA Chargers probably in the third quarter. I'm going to give it 21 and the Commanders 7. Again, final score Chargers 21 and Commanders 7. And we have the Patriots 2-2 and the Bills 4-0. I don't see the Patriots winning this game at all. The Buffalo Bills could quite possibly blow them out, but I'll just give them a 27. I'll give them 27 and the Patriots 3. Final score Buffalo Bills 27, New England Patriots 3. Again, these are just my picks and predictions. And you're welcome to comment as to if you think I'm way off or if you agree with any of those. Now, let's look at a few stats. And again, these are just some of the leaders that I'm showing. And this is for week 5. Passing. We have Stafford at 389 yards and Jones at 342 yards. Receiving. K. Bourne, 142 yards. D. Adams, 88 yards. P. Nacua, 85 yards. McCaffrey, 82 yards. And Atwell, 72 yards. Defense. Landman, 14 sacks. Okay. Sickle, 13. Warner, 12. And both of those are from San Fran. Lake, 11. And Stout, 8. Need 2 with San Fran. Passing. Leading is Stafford, 1,503 yards passing. Number 2, my quarterback, Prescott, at 1,119 yards. Jones, Indianapolis Colts, 1,078 yards. Herbert, Chargers, 1,063 yards. And the Packers, J. Love, 1,000 yards. Rushing, Jay Taylor, 414 yards. Colts. The Bills, Jay Cook, 401 yards. Jacksonville, ETN, 394 yards. K. Williams, LA Chargers, 368 yards. And last but not least, J. Dobbins, 323 yards. Not bad, not bad. So again, the team leaders. Detroit, and this is for time and points per game. Detroit, Buffalo, Baltimore, Indianapolis, and Cowboys. Points allowed per game. Houston, Seattle, Denver, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville. Leaders for total passing yards. LA Rams 15, as I mentioned, and 3. San Fran 1491. Cowboys 1160. Indianapolis Colts 1078. Chargers 1063. Touchdowns. Buffalo 654 as far as rushing yards. The Commanders, surprisingly, 619. The Jets, even though they're again bringing up the rear, 578 yards. Jacksonville, 576. And the Broncos, 573. So you have my picks and predictions. You have the standings thus far in week 5. Again, briefly, AFC, Buffalo, New England, Miami, then the Jets. AFC North, Pittsburgh, the terrible towel waving Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-1. You have Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Cleveland both tied, as I said earlier, 1-3. Then AFC South, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee. AFC West, the Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, and Las Vegas. NFC, this is my division. NFC East is anyway. Again, up top, Dirty Birdies of Philadelphia. Then the Commanders. Then my boys, Dallas Cowboys. Then the lowly New York Giants. NFC North, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, the Cheeseheads at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Then we have Minnesota Vikings and the Bears. NFC South, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Again, they're leading that division right now. Then the Atlanta Falcons, North Carolina Panthers, and then the New Orleans Saints with not a win on the board. Then the NFC West, San Fran, again, leading with 4 wins, 1 loss. Seattle, LA Rams, and 2-2 Arizona Cardinals. So again, your thoughts and predictions on week 5 of the NFL. Are your teams, for those of you that watch NFL, are they winning? Are they at the same place they have been? Who do you think will make it to the playoffs? Will it be the same old teams that we've been seeing? Or perhaps, could we see someone else hoist at the end? What everyone seeks. And that's to make it to the Super Bowl. But let's get to the playoffs right now. Let's see if any of these leaders can get their teams to the playoffs and then finally to Super Bowl. Again, these are my picks and predictions for week 5 of the NFL. What's yours? And again, if you're in agreement or disagreement or think I've lost my mind, you're welcome to leave your comments. But as I said, check out my video bucket from a couple of years ago. A lot of my picks and predictions were spot on. Again, I used to just adore the Washington Commanders, again, formerly Washington football team, formerly the Redskins, but that organization just, they did so much. And maybe with this bid to move them back to DC to RFK, that may change and shake off some of this darkness, but who knows? So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my picks and predictions. And for those of you that have your own picks and predictions, put up if you'd like, if you were spot on or way off, because you just never know. Everyone, thank you for tuning in and enjoy NFL Sunday. Until next time, bye bye for now.